Greetings to one and all. It gives me great pleasure to grace all of your presence in the interest of IEEE Sahrdaya SB PES Society. It's especially a great moment for us to have Ms. Raneena Raoof with us today. She is in the General Coordination and Support Team of IEEE PES Kerala chapter and has recently received the Outstanding Young Professional Volunteer Award 2020. In the coming hour, she'll be walking us through her experience from a student to an IEEE YP. So, without further ado, I would like to turn the mic over to you, ma'am.
Audible? Okay, I hope I'm audible. Can the team please confirm? Sorry. Okay, I will share my screen right now. You confirm, please. Yeah, I hope I'm audible. Someone do inform me if my screen is not visible and not audible.
Yeah, ma'am, you're audible.
And I hope the screen is okay, right? So, one greetings to one and all. First of all, I would like to thank the team for giving me such a wonderful intro. So, yeah, as I was introduced, my name is Raneena Raoof, and today I'll be actually speaking about my IEEE volunteering journey. So, I think before I start off, I'll just give you what my volunteer life has looked like, just in a glance. I started as an ordinary IEEE volunteer, just in fact not ordinary, a normal IEEE volunteer, like mostly every one of you, in the year 2017 as a volunteer for Dominant Student Branch at SPJCET. Then came to in the year 2018, I was able to become secretary of IEEE Student Branch. JCET, in fact, I was the first secretary over there. I'll come to everything. Then 2019, I was selected as a chairperson of IEEE SPJCET and content team lead of IEEE Chapter. And again, 2020, I continued my journey with JCET. And also, I joined, became a part of IEEE in professional Kerala team, which I'm still continuing. So I think I will explain or I will say about this one by one while I go through the stories. So I think before I get into my volunteering journey, I believe I will start from what I really wanted to become. So I think mostly every one of you know what I am right now. Like at least through my intro, you guys might have been able to understand. I am an engineer right now. I have graduated, so I have a graduated engineer right now. But let me see. I'll just tell you what were my dreams. So initially, as a child, these were my dreams. I wanted to become a doctor, a teacher, or a journalist, or politician. Okay, once apart, and while I was a child, in fact, I think till 10th, I had this assumption that politician is a job. Literally, I had that assumption in childhood. It took a bit of time for me to realize that was a service and not a job. Then police and again orator. Initially, maybe till my fifth standard or sixth standard, I thought becoming an orator was a job. Again, actually, somewhere in my journey, I think it was in my fifth or sixth that I realized orator is again not a job, but instead it was a skill, a person who has a skill to talk for public speaking. So that's how actually you can understand two of these got spectrum. And as I grew up, I had there's something else that I had actually missed out in this. Okay, I even had planned to become an advocate also. Yeah. So yeah. So again, somewhere between. So I'll just add it over here. I'll just add the close name. So somewhere in between. And again, through this journey, like when I started, I was getting mature. I decided, okay, I'm not going to become a teacher because we really know the ways to how they are treated at times. So literally, I did not. At that moment, some sort of stuff made me realize, okay, being a teacher is not a thing for me. Then I had choices like being an advocate, being a doctor, and being a journalist. Okay, let this two be over here. That is the advocate factor and the journalist factor. Let it be over there. I literally, I can say, maybe from maybe from the time I was 4, I really don't remember when. Maybe even from the time that I started playing with those tiny doctor sets, you see, I always loved to be a doctor. And literally, let me tell you the truth. I wanted to be a doctor, and I had actually even I was a medical repeater, and I'm a PC Thomas repeater. I and don't have any shame in revealing it. I was a repeater, and definitely, actually, what I can say was that I had tried, but I failed. So that's first point that I want to say, that you when you try, you'll definitely fail. Everything won't come through. So I tried my level best to crack the entrance exams, but I can't still say was it unfortunate or was it fortunate. Or has one of my friend, very close friend, once said to me that my destiny was to become an engineer. Maybe become safe. That's like that. I'm a person who believes in destiny. So, but yes, during this time, okay, even now, if I say opening my book and studying for at least 3 hours straight, 4 hours straight, is actually impossible stuff for me. But were the days when I was in my hostel. In fact, you may ask to any repeaters, I'm sure this is a scenario that you will see in every hostel rooms of every repeater. That is, you will be studying at least for 10 to 12 hours a day. Okay, there will be days that you can spend 13 to 14 hours. That by the end of that 1 year, you can literally say that, okay, these sorts of stuffs, at least you can say, I can just say an example that recently happened. I was having a conversation with one of my junior, like I joined for MTech, so I said I will be specializing in realism. And she said, okay, I heard this stuff somewhere. So I said, yeah. Actually, she's having a civil background. So I said, even you had studied physics, right, in 12th, the second chapter, the second textbook, semiconductors chapter, somewhere on the left side of your book, you had a blue box. There was realism. So that's actually what happens to you when you become repeaters, because you are going to have everything in your mind. Definitely now I started to forget it because it's been 5 years. But the truth is, at the end of that 1 year, I was not able to become a doctor. Then, definitely, as per my passion, I had these two choices: the advocate one and the journalist. But I think a bit of the so-called social factors had actually a great impact in it. That is, you have taken biology science, you have repeated 1 year, now going to become a journalist. Oh, advocate. You had options to take commerce for it, right? Yeah, only those who take commerce go for it. So, actually, when he has shown you so much, and something that I can realize is that engineering was nowhere close to my dream. So, if you had asked me in my childhood, why don't you want to become an engineer? Why would you want to become an engineer? This is either going to be my reaction. Okay, that's myself. Okay, so either I would be giving this reaction or this reaction. It's it's not that engineering is a bad course. I'm never saying that. I'm an engineer today. But even then, I did not have that particular feeling because my brother is an engineer. Yeah. So, but I was a person who believed engineering wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't my stuff. So definitely, I would be giving you this reaction if you ask me. Engineering, man, I want to become a doctor. You tell me to become an engineer? How dare you? Literally, I had really had those dreams. If you had seen my, I really don't have any books. Otherwise, I might have shown. If you had seen my books, I would have written this stuff like Dr. Raneena Raoof, MBBS, MD in oncology, and everything on my books. I was sure, so sure that I was going to be an engineer. So, what did I become? So, we are seeing my dreams, and at the end of this, you know, in 2021, what did I become? I became an engineer, which was no way close to my dreams. So, a factor that I would like to get into over here is becoming from transferring from a medical aspirant to engineer. How easy what? How easy was it for? It's like if you ask any repeaters over here, you can actually think if you're repeated, done for medical and gone for medical entrance, and what do you say? You're gone for medical entrance, and yeah, you are now fail. What do you say? You were not. I can't say you failed, but yeah, that year wasn't your year because you see, we have very limited number of seats. We have nearly 35,000. When I was there, definitely the number might have just increased. Right? Nearly 35,000 to 50,000 repeaters. I'm telling the story. I think it would be a 5 years back, 4 to 5 years back story. In the 2016. So you had 35,000 to 50,000 repeaters itself. Among these, there would be 15,000, more than 15,000 re-repeaters. And again, those are giving the third, fourth, and fifth attempts. So definitely, it's a tight competition. So I don't believe it's a fail. But yeah, that year or that particular day wasn't yours, and you ended up with this dream, which was never in your life. So like I think the funniest part I can say is that when so I heard is okay, you had the dream, we can give it up. Now we, when I started with engineering, okay, I mean when I started with engineering, I haven't heard these stuff. Yeah, it's easy. You know, you just focus on this. This is what you will do. But definitely, it's not practical or easy to be done, as it is said. Because seriously, when someone said me those words, this would was my really my inner reaction. I can say, okay, this was my real inner reactions. Okay, because for nearly 18 to 19 years of my life, okay, later initial 2 years of my life where I don't even know who I was. Okay, so what I can say, 17 to 16 years of my life, I have was a person who had decided that I'm going to medical field, and all of a sudden I'm going to something what I initially thought was totally unrelated, and that was the stuff that always kept me cracking me. And you, the truth is that it took me nearly 1.5 years, 1.5 years. That is the initial 3 semesters of my beta class to make myself understand that there's something that I can do in this field. Okay, this stream has something hidden for me. So it took nearly 1.5 years for me. Okay, so it's never easy. Okay, I think. So yeah, the, because you, as I was saying, it was never easy because like you had a particular dream. Say because yeah, say you after 12th we'll be having discussions and our friends like we finished our 12th standard and we I still remember I think it was in our chemistry lab. And like some of our friends were sitting together, okay. So we actually planning okay what courses we would be doing. So I was like, okay, I had a second that I'm going to repeat. So I was telling them, okay, whatever happens, I'm going to repeat the entrance. Then one stuff is like, I just said two things over there. That I'm not going to take engineering And whatever courses I take, I'm not going to join Nehru College. Okay, and another friend of mine was like, I will be most probably joining for engineering at Rice College, Bangalore. Even if I join at somewhere at Kerala, I won't be joining Nehru College. Okay, because then back then the college was really strict, damn strict, especially when I joined. Those times when I joined was damn strict. Schools were better. Okay, schools were better at that time. Yeah, but now, yeah, you can get a great college life from there. That's what I believe because I have received it. But the irony is that my friend who said she would not be joining Nehru College even though she's taking engineering, she joined at Nehru College of Engineering and Research Center, Pambadi, and myself who said I'll never join engineering or or and whichever course I join, I'm not going to join in Nehru College. Okay, even medical, I won't join Nehru College place. Okay, I joined in Jawaharlal College of Engineering and Technology, which is an institute under Nehru groups of institutes. So I think that was the real irony. So when I said this 1.5 years and 1.5 years, I really did not know what I was doing over there. What was the sense that I was being in that stream that I never wanted to be a part of. So yeah, that was when actually literally I would say a really hard time. And my volunteering life as an IEEE volunteer is something that had bonded me towards engineering. That I this is a place where I had understood what and why what you say what or why I have to be over here. Sort of stuff. Okay, like okay, my dreams exactly where what was my dream and all those stuff. So now I'll come to the very first question: why I became an IEEE member. So this is generally a question that everyone will be having in mind. Why should I join IEEE? What are the benefits that I will get? What is IEEE first of all? What is it? What is the so-called stuff of IEEE or Institute of Electronics and Electrical Engineering? What are the societies? What are the societies like IAS, IES, PES, and ComSoc, and all those stuff? This is something that if you have gone through an empty session, you by the time you get out of those empty session, I'm sure at least 70% of the crowd will be having these questions in their mind. And the remaining, at least, okay, I'll say maybe one or two questions at least from these, okay? And the remaining 30 percentage would be out of the remaining 30 percentage, 10 percentage would have never heard what was going on over there. And 20 percentage, okay, would have understood mostly. But coming to my case, I did not have any such questions, okay? Because that's the truth. Because I started asking these questions of myself once I became a member. Because I never heard, I just heard there's such a society. Okay, that was the only stuff that happened. Like, there was a session, like, there was a class, we did not have an active student branch there. One of my senior and another super senior, okay, who was my super senior was then a faculty at the college. So yeah, they were actually I had taken one day off. I was on leave, I don't remember why. But I was on leave on that particular day. And these two had came to my class and they were actually saying this was in my third semester, okay, a few days before that, if I'm not wrong. So they two both had came to our college, sorry, my class. They actually said about this organization and all. Then I just rang one of my friend in the evening, and she said me like, okay, so and so senior came, and he said this an organization named IEEE and said us to join its benefits and all. Okay, then I did not actually ask much about it to her. I just asked, "Are you joining?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm planning to join." Okay, I was like, "Okay, yeah." Anyway, I think I'll just browse a bit and I'll join. Okay, this was the stuff that what I said, but I had already decided to join, even though I did not know what it was. Yeah, I would say that was that was at times some foolish, what do you say, foolish acts can help you out. This was just one such act. But definitely this is not going to repeat every time, I'm sure. So some stuff that had happened over there was I joined IEEE, so I just went to the site. Okay, I just filled the form, and at the end they asked for $27. So I was like, okay. Anyway, she said she's going to join. She had said me there's some sort of amount for me. So I just asked my mom and parents. My mom and dad. Okay, they were okay. I said, okay, if you want, you may join. Then I joined. It was I think in 2017 September, I believe. Yeah, 2017 September, October, or October. But after that, 2 months after that, actually, I started to get questions like, why am I here? What is really happening? And all those things. And I was actually hearing something. I was just sending some applications or something like that. And it was actually in February 2018 that I literally started my volunteering, I can say. Yes, I was doing something. I was just reading. At times, I was reading the mails that I used to get. That was the first thing that I did as an IEEE volunteer. I would say that was from September 2017 to 2018. In February, this was the main thing. February 16th, I can say on specific. That this was the main thing that I had done. So, this is the very first moment that I started volunteering. Please don't misunderstand. I was not taking the empty session. Okay, I was just there to answer some sort of questions. I really don't. It was some sort of questions or game, something. So this was actually the first epic moment that my volunteering started. And the person next to me, standing next to me, is the person who had actually helped me a lot. Helped me out a lot as a volunteer. Her name was Nikita, and she was the first vice chair of I2P student branches. So basically, I started my volunteering journey from there. And then I started to understand, okay, these are the stuff so that we have to do. And while I was getting on track, suddenly one night, or I think something like 10:30 or 10, anyway, after 10, okay, between 10 and 11 p.m., I got a call from one of my seniors. So basically, yes, later on, even though I did get a bit closer to him, we became good friends later on. But at that time, I don't wish to reveal the name. Okay. So at that time, what happened was like I wasn't. He was just a random senior for me, and particularly actually, this person is calling me at that moment. I literally did not know why he was calling me. Okay, first and foremost. Yeah. Then, okay, I decided let's see what he wanted, why he was calling, and I took the phone, and it's just something like say 10:30 maybe. It was somewhere between 10. Well, so yeah. As soon as I took the phone, he was like, "Congratulations." So just imagine a random senior is calling you at late night, and you it's what first of all the stuff that he's saying is congrats. So definitely, like everyone, even I had the same question in my mind: are you mad? But literally, I did not ask that particular stuff because he was a random senior, right? So I decided I won't be. I just asked him why, and then I got a reply saying, "Can you are selected as the second group I to student and JC." Then I said, "Okay, thank you," and I dropped the call. And literally, I was shocked because I just had very little knowledge about ITP. As I said, I did not know what a society. Basically, I didn't know what a society is. So forget about what is each particular society is about. Okay. Then I started to grasp it. Then I started to learn, and then actually I started to identify stuff. That's what my first phase of volunteering. And the next phase is how I started networking. Okay, networking. This is a really important thing for me. I can say actually had made a family out of networking. Like they says, to say, we have, I received a special source of bonds with my friends. I can't really explain how it works. But it's just such a special sort of bonding with my friends. The main reason that I actually took this particular photo is definitely just not the moment that I started networking, but this was the person who, with whom I started networking first. Like it was apart from the hub teams of that time. So it was yeah, MHM meeting, Malabar Hub Meet 2018. I was a publicity volunteer for that. So basically, yeah, we were having good conversations, but I was literally and just sort of feeling, okay, well, should I speak or what should I speak and all. That was when this particular person approached me, and yeah, we started talking randomly. And today he was a very close friend of mine. Seriously, I can't say he's a such very close friend of mine. I So yeah, but yeah, then I was like, okay, why is this random friend approaching me? I had this thoughts in my mind, okay, when I received the first message. But okay, as I talked with him, I understood, okay, how we can network. Definitely, he wasn't saying anything odd. He was just talking about our studies. Okay. Then, yes, we did meet through MHMET. And similarly, I was able to build up a network of friends. Say the best friend, like there's a lot. I'm sure if I start saying the names, I'm going to miss out a lot. Let's say, well, from the student volunteers, I would say first of all, I'll just go outside JCET. It's definitely 3K who want to start with whom everything. Then Besni, Vaishnavi, Rupen, a lot. Archa, Arjun, Swati, and a lot of such friends that I received from there is something that I always treasure. And I can say that the best part of my see, even though I studied at JCET, I'm sure even today there are people who is confused that in which college are we really studying. Because at times I see those long screenshots and I see okay, Raneena is easier to clear. And I see many colleges and I would actually be literally messaging them. Hello, I belong to JCET. Okay, so that's the stuff. And yeah, so I was able to build up such a network of friends that they were so sort of go through time. Like whatever be, I can actually go to them. I can ask them, say studies or out of studies related to IEEE, not related to IEEE. They were with me. Then in 2018, so I think there happened such some situations. Okay, I'll just keep it to myself. Like I won't be explaining or elaborating the situation because there are few internal issues. Okay, where I personally felt like I did not want to continue volunteering. That is in 2000. I did not want literally I did not wanted to volunteer. In fact, not volunteer. In fact, I did not want it. I was fed up at a moment. Like just because like whatever I did or in fact the truth is that whatever I did not do came as a blame to me. So say so basically what I had completed or why I had continued volunteering after 2008. There are actually two main reasons. One is my student branch. I took the student branch JCET. So the bond that I share with JCET, in fact, say, let me be specific about it. The bond that I share with IEEE student branch JCET is actually a very special bond for me. That is a very special bond for me. Means it's literally special that it's a sort of bonding that a mother and child shares because if you think about it you can understand because there was not a student branch did not exist Then at that time, I was after that when the student branch was formed, I was the founding executive. That was the first secretary over there. Okay. After that, I came to be a second chairperson. Then now, since past 2 years, I've been serving as a student branch mentor. So you can actually understand how bonded I'm towards this particular student branch. So basically, the only reason, I mean, I can say the only reason, but the main reason that I continued was my student branch was I was the only junior among the team who literally had involved into all the activities of the student branch till date. The rest of the team has been mostly consisted of final years. So if I decided to drop out, yes, definitely another person could take over as a chair. Definitely. But the problem was that again it would be having a feeling like starting from the beginning. Again you have to go back because this person isn't familiar at all with whatever was happening. So I asked myself a lot. So because just because of, this was one reason. Okay. And the next was definitely two of my very close friends that I received from IEEE. I think these two phrases would be literally familiar to you. Mostly at all of you. Amajan Nilagir in the big deal. I just kept saying about also all the stuff. Say, even after 2018, before 2008, sorry, not before, but yeah, in 2018, I used to say them everything. And I think backing or the support they gave me is something that actually motivated me to continue my volunteering. And I think that was one of the best decisions that I ever made. Because I can say, I can wholeheartedly say, the best, what I can say, the best days or the best moments of my undergraduate years, I'm not saying my college life, but of my from my BTech days or undergraduate days happened in the year 2019. And again, it was not at, what do you say, it was not at JCET. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. Those were the days when I volunteered for them, even named Triac for its first edition. We recently finished its second edition, right? So I think, so getting to Triac, I'll say how I joined Triac. So that particular year, after I think it was again in 2019 March, so I had decided to continue. I renewed my membership in 2019 March. I sorry for that. Yeah, in 2019 March, I was happy. Oh, I don't know. Some way again, destiny played a role. And I was selected as the content team lead for IEEE Comps of Kerala chapter. And I think, yes, I was able to make my contributions as a content team during that time. And that was what, and that role, or that second was opened my door towards, what do you say, volunteering for the event titled Triad. Those were something, that was a perfect mixture, I would say, of volunteering. So, yeah. Now, what motivated me to become a young professional? No, again, at your final years, when you're in your final year, we can see that mostly, what you say, final years do not renew their membership. So, the first step was that the question that came that we would be having is, why should I renew my IPP membership? Because my college life is over. And the next one is that should I renew the other society memberships? Actually, I just wrote these society names because I was closely working role. I was closely volunteering with these. Okay, that's the only reason. So, literally, again, I did not ask those questions initially to mind because I had received this member get member benefit. So I did not have to pay even a penny to renew my membership then. So I just simply renewed it. But definitely, again, next year towards the May or March, I had to get this question in my mind. That's when an event happened at Palakkad, I can say. That's when an event happened at Palakkad. I actually met them, at least two of them there in track. I think these again would be similar features to you. So I had met Anish Chetan and Anandu Chetan during Rayak. And yeah, I had interacted with his educator, I think. Yeah, we had a small interaction at times during track. And yeah, again, I met Sharnatan for the first time. And this was literally the first meeting, okay, that I met for Sharnatan. And and stage for Sharnatan, stage teacher and me, this was the first meeting. And with the rest too, this was my second meeting. So basically, I think it was that day actually literally changed my mind. Like, I think that particular day helped me to understand why I should continue. And I can say this friendship that I received from there is something that I will always treasure in my life. That's something I always wants to be with me. So the way they actually it was their commitment or towards an activity or something or and all those stuff that actually made me understand what volunteering after undergraduate days could be. Because literally even today, from I think from this particular date to date, if you take, I can say like they are literally like siblings. I can go to them. In fact, they are the first go-to people for me. They just not even just IEEE, you can say anything, even out of IEEE, the other people whom I talk to and talk share with. I think this particular bond that I was able to develop with them, maybe that particular day, helped me to realize okay how volunteering after college life seems to be, or how it would be. And yeah, that was actually a factor that motivated me to renew my young professional membership even last year. If I'm a young professional volunteer this year, even today, speaking to you guys, there are the main reasons. Because the team spirit was something that they had shown me. They never said me about it, but they showed me. Yeah. So now, just one thing. What if I decided to stop my volunteering at any time? Basically, I said you initially about starting my volunteering life. Okay, I said you how starting my volunteering life was difficult for me. Then I said you how stages, how at various stages that I wanted to give up on volunteering. How frustrated I was during volunteering. Sorry. So how frustrated I was during volunteering. Then and I wanted to stop again. After young being a professional volunteer, there was a chance for me after my final year that I might have not renewed. So there are three stages, maybe literally. One is not starting at all. One is fed up. Another one is what should I? Definitely, these three had a different meaning. But say it at any point. What if I had stopped? If I had stopped my volunteering, first and foremost, I would not be talking to you right now like this. Okay? First and foremost, I won't be talking to you like this today. Because if I'm talking to you, it's just because I have a very good track and volunteer. I can say it. If you guys have invited me, it's definitely you seem okay, I'm a good volunteer. Next one has it was said in the intro, 2 days back I was announced as the IEEE recipient of 2020 Outstanding Young Professional Volunteer from IEEE Kerala chapter. I would have not been able to achieve this. Okay, so two stuffs. Then, I can say, okay, I think I was saying, this other stuff, what would have happened if I stopped volunteering? No, I'll just say how I started my volunteering with actually be a young professional here. So once I was out of college, once I was elevated, there was again a random Google form that was sent out, inviting call for 14 members. There was a set of questions you had to answer. I think I did answer it pretty well. And to my surprise, I was able to get two, I was able to hold two designations in it. One was the Malabar subsection activity coordinators, and the other one was the content team coordinator, which I'm even holding today. Sharing second role even today with my friend Shweta. So basically, I think it was definitely from those writings that definitely what I had to showcase while there from my volunteering life during my undergraduate. From then, now coming to this year, I was again. I would say I'm really privileged to be a part of IEEE Kerala chapter. That is, um, yeah. Currently, I was in my activities had actually something that I would say whatever I had done in my volunteering life earlier is something that had always given me a chance to proceed with it. Okay, so my activities with IPPS Kerala chapter, I can say now, if I'm serving in the professional execom, has the general coordination and support coordinator, or I'm serving again as the Malabar voice, VSAC, or again with IPPS YP Kerala, I'm serving as the Women in Power representative, or and the content team coordinator. It's definitely my act, the way I was able to showcase my skills or right, my leadership qualities in my previous roles. And this is okay, these initiatives or whatever I had done and in my previous volunteering roles are the stuff that served as the raw materials for my for the other volunteering role that I'm holding right now. That is one of the subcommittee members of the new initiatives and project subcommittee in IEEE Young Professionals. So why I literally say this much over here is that every time I met, especially those people who are new to IEEE or those people who are not used to get holding office positions, is that every time they ask me, how can we get, how are we able to join, or be a part of this so-called positions or titles? And let me say you, n- this is something that I had followed throughout my volunteering journey. That is, never go behind a title. Okay, say you don't have a designation, what you can do? Because I had contributed towards IEEE SB or say I had actually contributed towards JCET. Okay, I can say I had I had no roles, I had no designations over there at that time. But it was I was able to contribute over there to JCET, and it was just because of that I was selected as a secretary of JCET. IEEE student brand JCET. Again, mm, whatever I showcased reflected and carried forward. So that's what I want to say, everyone who is here. That is never go behind any titles. Do your volunteering passionately. Just okay, if you're okay, you won't be holding office role because office roles are limited. But you can still contribute. You have to see how you can contribute. So I think we have some nearly 10, we would be having nearly 10 minutes left. So this is about my presentation. So if anyone having anything to ask, because I just put some stuff that I think is really important or have to be shared in this slide. So if someone is having any thing, you may ask. I think that was Okay, speaking about how my family was supporting me during volunteering life. Yeah, okay. I have to say my family was supportive because definitely without the support of my family, I would have never been able to. First of all, see, I had while I was in college, I had been part of various organizations like IEDC, NOSF, and like NOSF was an organization particularly for Nehru students. It was a Nehru Open Source Foundation, and I've been a part of various organizations. But just give me a minute. Okay, so if my family wasn't supportive, first and foremost, it's been, I think I started my volunteering in 2017 and it's 2021. That's nearly 4 to 5 years of volunteering. So, if they had not been supportive, I would have never been over here because money do matter. Okay, then yes, they did encourage, but yes, I did have restrictions as a girl, and yes, has my name, so this I do belong to Muslim background. So yeah, I did have restrictions while going from place to place C. And yeah, something that I missed out in my presentation is that while my college life, what I can say is that whatever sorts of volunteering that I had done, it was mostly confined to IEEE SB. The fame or name, whatever you say, that I gained as a student volunteer was predominantly from the contribution that I made towards IEEE student plan JCE. So I did not have to go out. I can actually count the number of times or events that I've gone. And so say the only IEEE event that I had attended is Malabar Hub Meet 2018 as a participant. Then I had been to another two IEEE events. That is, one is Triac, the first edition, and Experio. In both these cases, I was a volunteer or its core team member. Okay, so I did not move. I did not actually had to leave my house. Then again, I had to go to Kozhikode and Kochi. Most of the hub either the hub team meeting, hub chase meeting has back then. The Mexico meetings weren't online. It was offline face-to-face meetings. So we had F2F generally organized at Kochi, and I had played two important roles. I was the secretary and the chair, both the roles which were needed to be there for F2F. Okay, so yeah. Then again, generally we had the chairs meet or the execombators Malabar meet generally at Koriko somewhere. And my mom used to accompany me to these places. And she used to drop me there. And literally, she had actually, she used to be there alone, maybe 2 to 3 hours. I had a lot of friends over there, but in a place where no one and that she knew. She used to be there. And maybe she would be going to town, she would just be randomly sitting in some malls or something. So that itself will say what my mom is. Then coming to my dad, he's someone I always motivated every time. Nowadays, okay, when I see a photo of mine in a poster, I am not the person who gets excited. In fact, it's my dad who actually gets excited about this. Say, even the awards that I won, that I received nearly 2 days back, was my dad who was again really excited about it. He was the person who was saying to the family members. And even while I was holding any volunteering roles like secretary or chairperson at my college level, well, it was him who would proudly say to the family members, "My daughter is holding so and so role." And coming to my brothers, again, see, back then, and I and my mom were alone at home. So whenever I wanted to go for any event, when my brothers, so my mom was actually supposed to be alone. See, any vendor I wherever. So actually, we generally don't like that particular stuff. So what generally we does is that my brother he used to come from Bangalore all the way to Kerala, taking at times taking a day off or see he's working as an engineer or taking work from home if possible, because those were not COVID days, so work from home wasn't so common, and he would be say, coming from all the way from Bangalore to Kerala. Kerala. So only just because of that, I can go and attend that event. Just this was the only reason. And so definitely the backing or support that I received from my family is something that was inevitable. The only thing they wanted me to do was that I must not sacrifice on my academics. Not just that, even today. They said, even today when I was going for the session, my mom said, okay, you are going to start a new college life the next month. So you have to reduce your activities and focus more on your studies. Once you get on track, yeah, you can. Never compromise your academics. And there were situations they had blamed me. And there were situations I was right, there were situations they were right. But at the end of the day, you are family. You sit together, you sort it out. And again, I think just adding on to this, I can even just, I would like to say, apart from my biological family, in this case, my JCET family, let me say, let me be more specific, my EC department family, again, had helped me a lot. Like, there was a stage when my dad and mom literally was, actually, both of them are not from an engineering background. So, when my brother was studying for engineering, he wasn't into such activities. Even today, he's into this activity. This is his personal choice again. And so they weren't sure what it was for. Was it just a lose of time? So I still remember my dad and my mom coming to one of the PTA meetings and asking this to my HOD, Professor Venugopal sir, about this. And the way Venugopal sir, then the HOD of EC department JCET, and along with other faculties of JCET, made them convinced that what I'm gaining from this is really important. So I would say, when I say support from family, I would say my biological, both my families, my both biological family as well as EC department family. EC department JCET family had helped me a lot in my volunteering journey. Okay, is there any more question? Was there any difficulty in volunteering like nurses? Definitely, you see, definitely there are a lot of difficulties. There are a lot of stress factors. See, when I was studying, okay, when I was studying, it's first of all, we're starting off, especially when you're starting volunteering with the student plans that had not existed till date. So you are the one among the first who had actually laid the foundation. There is a lot of who is misunderstanding. I can say actually two. I can say like there were two heartbreaking moments that I can say. Just few months after, I won't say the name, that we received a very prestigious non-event, a non-prestigious event. We were selected as host for that particular event. But it was just, I think, we formed our student plan in 2018 February, and this opportunity came to us in April 2018. But unfortunately, even what you can say, Nehru groups of institutions were not going through good times at that time. So the management had fears because they did not know how well we could do. And we had got all the permission, but at the end of the day, the chairman said no. So we had received, I think, when you are in a management, studying in a management college, you will know. Yeah, your college is Sahrdaya is a management college, so you guys would be know. That is, while you're going for permissions, you have to start from one end, and there will be a long line of permissions. Exactly. So literally, it was just we got just one more permission to go, and the event was all ours. So literally, we were sure we received the permission. We just went to take that paper, and that's when we said the permission was denied by the chairman. But yes, it was a bit heartbreaking. But let me tell you again, it was a bit heartbreaking. But if you see, you can see how what PJCT is now. So if that particular, I'm not sure if that particular event was given to us then, would be able to realize is not just us, all our successors. Say starting from Vaishagatan's team, then my team, then Vidya's team, then Sri Lakshmi's team that's going on now. All the four teams have equal worth, but definitely the team led by Vaishagatan in the first, even of which even I was a part, had not laid a strong foundation. We would never be able, whatever this, the remaining steps would have been a bit more difficult for the future teams. So, if we had received that particular permission, maybe we would let it go like an easy go. But today, I can say the situation by the time that I got out of this AD incident, I walk into the principal room. The principal would take the paper. He would, if you come to know that it is about IEEE, he would first give you permission, then ask what the event is. Because that was a trust that we were able to develop. That was one. Another one again, we had to call off another event due to many reasons. That was one of my dream events. Again, it broke my heart. Then there was a particular situation when I had to do some few stuff all alone. Um, but at last, when the blame came, there was just a sort of misunderstanding because I was just a normal human being having two legs, two hands. But yeah, I'm not telling you which or where it is. But when, yeah, a particular misunderstanding came, everything, all the arrows were pointed towards me. That was, I felt like, okay, what should I even continue? But yeah, there was one senior that had helped me out. Then even today, actually, yeah, I'm taking this session right now to you guys. I'm parallelly getting calls. Just because I know I have content work pending, so I have to finish it off. There are release time scheduled, so I have to do it. So that's it. So there are a lot of stress factors. That's why I said never volunteer for growth. If you're volunteering out of passion, I literally volunteer out of passion. I like to volunteer. That's the only reason that I'm doing it. So if I had not volunteered out of passion and if I just volunteer for the namesake of the positions that I hold, let me tell you, I would have never this I would have stopped by this time because this would have turned out to be a great burden for me. So yes, there were stress factors, a lot of stress factors. Even now there are stress factors. But yeah, when you have passion, you will overcome it. Anymore?
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your valuable insights. So, we have come to the end of our session. I would like to thank everyone who made the meeting possible, and I thank Ms. Raneena Rao for sharing her inspiring views. So, once again, thank you all for joining, and the link to the feedback form is in the chat box. Kindly fill it before leaving. Thank you.
Thank you, team, for having me over here. It was definitely a great one. And special thanks to Afra for this. Thank you.